Hi, my name is Kathy, and this is my first video I'm going to have that will hopefully give you some helpful tips on painting your kitchen cabinets. As you can see, I'm here in my basement. I'm not sure if you can see. I'm put some extra lighting out here. I'm getting ready to put on my second coat of primer, but I wanted to give you some points or some tips on how to get the best paint job or get the best paint results on your doors. The first thing I'm going to point out is the importance of really good lighting. I'm down here in my basement. I have some overhead lighting, which is great, but it really isn't enough for me to really see what I'm doing. But more importantly, I went out and I got one of these really nice handyman task lights that you can find at any Home Depot or Lowe's. They're not very expensive, probably less than $50. This has come in very handy because when I put on a coat of paint or a coat of primer on one of these doors, and by the way, I have them elevated. I'm not sure if you can see underneath here. They're the little painting triangles that you can get. Pull one out here. You can get these at your at Home Depot or Lowe's. They're a couple dollars for 8 of them. They're very important when you're painting. You do not want to paint on a flat surface. You definitely want to have your doors elevated so that you can paint the sides without having any drips or buildup underneath the door while it's drying. So the important thing of this light, and going back to this, is once I got done, I found that once I got done putting on a coat of paint or primer, that I would take this light and I would maybe move it to the side a little bit and go around each door on the side, and I would see if there were any drips or buildup of paint on corners or on edges that I couldn't get from direct overhead lighting. And this helped me a lot. Before I would go on to the next door, after I finished one of them, I would walk around the door, I would move the light back and forth to different sides, and then I would just make sure that I don't have any buildup of paint on the corners. Right over here, there's none right here, but you're typically going to get paint buildup on your corners and your edges, and maybe even some grooves if you have grooving on your cabinet. So that was one tip I wanted to give you that is really important. If you can, go and get yourself a task light and use it when you are painting. It will definitely come in handy. If nothing else, it will help you see what you're doing a little bit better, especially if you're doing, for example, I'm doing white on white, so oftentimes it's hard to see if I have drips or buildup on edges. So that's tip number 1.